It was a very fine day. After praying hard to God for a desperately needed job, a company finally scheduled you for an interview. As you were driving along the highway, you noticed a lady waving at a passerby, asking for help to change her tires, but no one was stopping. You looked at your watch. You knew you would not make it on time if you helped her, but feeling sorry for her, you pulled over. After the help was done, you drove off and thought to yourself, well, there goes that job. When you arrived for your appointment, a room full of people who were also applying for the same job were waiting. Then came your turn, and to your surprise, the one doing the interviewing was the lady that you helped change tires. Needless to say, you got the job after all. This story actually happened to a certain man. Though we cannot guarantee that the same will happen to us, we can be certain that we will reap what we sow. If we sow acts of love and kindness, we will reap the same. In the parable of the Good Samaritan found in Luke chapter 10, verses 30 to 37, a certain man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. On the way, he was attacked by robbers. They took his clothes, beat him up, and went off, leaving him half dead. Meanwhile, a priest was on his way down the same road, but when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Then a Levite, a religious man, arrived, but he also avoided the injured man. Then a Samaritan arrived. When he saw the man's condition, his heart went out to him. He poured oil and wine on his wounds and bandaged him. Then he lifted him onto his donkey, led him to an inn, and took care of him. In the morning, he gave 2 pence to the innkeeper, saying, "Take good care of him. If it costs any more, I'll pay you on my way back." This parable teaches us to be merciful, even to people we don't know. The injured man was in a helpless situation. The 2 religious people who should have helped him didn't care. As Christians, we have to be extremely careful that we do not become so involved in our ministry that we are not concerned with those outside our church. Meanwhile, a Samaritan showed him mercy. Here is a man considered at that time to be an outcast, a minority, yet he fulfilled the law of God, which is to love your neighbor as yourself. Here we can learn that mercy is not just an attitude. It is expressed by good works. In our world full of people who are in dire need of help, the most important help that we can give is to share the gospel. But we should carefully regard the 2 sides of the gospel: the spiritual, which is our faith, and the natural, which is our good works. Although we are saved by faith and not of good works are the outward sign that the faith of God is within our hearts. A great testimony about good works is the life of Dorcas in the New Testament. Dorcas showed her faith by her works, being well known in the town for her many works of charity. Unfortunately, Dorcas fell ill and died. Dorcas's deeds of love and selfless giving had prompted her neighbors to believe with a remarkable faith that she could be raised from the dead. They called for the Apostle Peter to pray for her, and miraculously, she received the gift of extended life. Here is an ordinary woman doing ordinary things for others. However, God places a special importance upon these little things that are done in the name of love. Dorcas is a shining example to all of us that others can come to know Christ by our good works. The Good Samaritan gave 2 pence to the innkeeper with a promise of more. We can see that this was not just a shallow gesture, but rather a deep involvement in the healing of the injured man. One man once said, "You have not fully given until it hurts." Sometimes situations require us to give sacrificially, and we should not hesitate to do it when that time comes. Every day, God has good works that He desires us to perform. Therefore, we should pray every single day, "Lord, what good works do you want me to do today? Let's establish the Samaritan ministry in our lives. Let's be sensitive to the needs of others, reaching out to the poor and those in need. We can't always expect that when we sow good works, we will reap in the same place, but we can trust that God sees our good deeds and sacrifices. He honors those who love their neighbors as themselves.